Okay, we're going to open the Town of Lloyd Board Workshop agenda for November 6th. We'll start by with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll ask Councilman Frano to lead us through it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And can I ask you all to, for a moment of silence for Van Ritchie, who was a radio host and I think friends of a lot of people in here who passed away this weekend. So we can have a moment of silence. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice of Hudson Valley. Everybody knew him that way. Everybody has it? Okay. To move forward, we also have a proclamation this month. November, I think as many of you probably know, is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas pancreatic cancer is the third leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States, where pancreatic cancer has the lowest 5-year survival rate of any major cancer, 8%, and more people will die from pancreatic cancer than breast cancer this year. And whereas so many close to us in our community have been affected by this cancer. Now, therefore, I, David Plapchek, Supervisor of Town of Lloyd, Ulster County, New York, do hereby proclaim November 2024 as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month in the Town of Lloyd, a month of empowerment, education, inspiration for our community who have been touched by pancreatic cancer. It is our opportunity to shine a light on this disease, to elevate our voices, to raise awareness. Okay, we're going to move forward. Budget dates, we've been pretty much through. We've been through the tentative, the preliminary budget on October 9th. We started, it was filed on 15th. We set the public hearing. We had it on for budget adoption, which is tonight. We have the public hearing on the preliminary budget tonight. We did the public hearing last week on the tax override in case it's needed. And then we have, you can see the 20th will be the day to adopt the final town budget for 2025. Oops. No typo there. I almost said it, 2023. So what I'd like to do right now is to ask for a motion to open the public hearing on the preliminary budget.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the public hearing on the preliminary budget is open. Just so everybody's aware, the preliminary budget that we've gone through, we're currently at $232,000, I believe, over the tax cap, the 2% tax cap, which is about a 4% uplift in town taxes. We haven't stopped driving it yet. Our intent is still to get under 2%. Okay. The reason that you passed the override last week is if we don't get to 2%, then you have to revert back to last year's budget, which didn't sound like the right thing to do either. So we're still working on that budget. I believe there's ways to get under the 2%, and we'll continue working on it. And we can't make changes on it until we are ready to, after the public hearing on the preliminary budget, and then we could submit changes for the final. I believe that's the right process. So is there anybody here that has questions or wants to speak on the preliminary budget? Okay, so I'll leave the public hearing open in case anybody walks in. And we'll move on to the agenda. The closed public hearings at the top, we already did. We did that on 10/16, so we'll skip through them. So we'll start off with reports. The assessor, there's nothing there. Budget, we already talked about. We'll move to building and zoning with Dave Barton.
Thank you.
You all have the report. Amelia emailed it out earlier. A couple sort of bigger ticket items. Dave and I have been working, Margaret and others, including someone at the county, on pro-housing communities. We think we're all ready for our submission. What happens is it's a New York State program, and getting certified as a pro-housing community allows and Dave's and the board has been big on getting grants. It allows the board to apply for grants under things like the Downtown Revitalization, New York Forward, Regional Council Capital Fund, Market New York, New York Main Street Program, Mid-Hudson Momentum, Public Transportation Enhancement Program. All those things we would not have access to. Some of those funds and some of those things we wouldn't have access to unless we get certified. The way the state works it, we collect, my office and I put together spreadsheets that the state gives us. They've did a letter of intent to ask for certification. The state's looking for my building permits and planning board approvals over the last 3 years. The spreadsheet is actually 5 years. In order to qualify, a municipality in this location, what they call upstate, had to do 33% increase in housing stock, 0.33%, so 0.33% last year, or 1.00% over the last 3 years. Last year, the town's housing stock growth was 0.29%, but in the last 3 years, it was 1.20%. So we would be in that category to qualify. That's sort of a big deal because there's a lot of money available that we would simply not lock in.
You can't apply for the grants unless you're part of that community.
So I think we're ready. As soon as we get the ticket back from Neil for the link, we'll get it in. Couple items. I went up this morning just to make sure before this meeting that the Apple Lane remediation was done. The fence is in. The fence is in. It looks fantastic. Trees are in. I agree with some of the homeowners. They are a little close. But the berm is also in with the trees on top of that, which is behind the fence. It looks fantastic. So that's one of the pieces that the villages had to do in order to move forward. The pump station. Did I see Adam? Yeah. I know that Adam, Dave, and Andy met about the pump station, so I guess that's in progress. I haven't heard from them. And then I think I heard that the two of the models should be in just after the new year. So those are the sales models for the homes at the top. So looks like things may be moving forward, but I'm sure you've all heard me say it 100 times. We'll wait until we see things moving. So for your meeting on the 20th, you'll have the Ohioville Solar has approval. They have a stormwater maintenance agreement, which is basically an easement across our end of the site. Again, this project is divided up into two municipalities, Plattekill and excuse me, Highland. Our piece will have an easement across our piece in case stormwater issues occur there, then we can't get a contractor, or the contractor goes belly up and we have to go in and do stuff. We'll have easement for that. We'll also have the decommissioning plan, which has been both the maintenance agreement and the decommissioning have been approved by Paul Van Cott and Andy Learn. And then you'll have another one, which is the village's developers agreement for your approval on the 20th as well. And I'll have that out to you tomorrow. All right. And then tonight you have on your agenda local laws D, E, and F, and I'm here to answer any questions if there are.
Okay. Any questions for Dave?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, dog control, you could see the Andrew sent his report. It's on the agenda. And you can see it there. I guess he's receiving a high volume of call for wild animals. So he said to call Janso for that. So okay, we'll move forward. No, Rich is out. Frank, did you have anything for Rich tonight? No. Okay. Thank you. Joan sent her report. We'll move on to the chief. Chief Janso.
Good afternoon, everybody. October activity report. We had 1,354 calls of service, 49 accidents were handled, 5 of those were personal injury, 44 were property damage. We issued 116 tickets, no parking tickets, 21 arrests for the month. Some of the activities we did, October 1st, we held our Cops and Coffee at the Town Hall. October 4th and through the 6th, St. Augustine's had their Fall Flannel Festival, so we had patrols go through there during the event. October 5th, we had Build a Scarecrow event in town. Our patrols did walkthroughs also there for the kids. October 12th, members attended the Highland Fire Department open house, gave out child ID kits, and gave tours of police cars. October 19th was a big event on the walkway, it was the Alzheimer's Walk, which brings in thousands of people. We had extra patrols assigned to that detail. October 20th was the ALS Walk on the walkway. Again, that brings in also another couple thousand for that. We had 2 more patrols assigned to that area. October 26th was Halloween in the Hamlet. We had patrols assigned to that. October 26th through the 27th was Walktoberfest on the walkway and the rail trail. We had numerous officers on that detail. And then October 31st was Halloween night, and we had about 6 extra patrols on for the town, and it was uneventful. It was a good night. Some of the training we did for October was firearms qualifications and taser qualifications. And we had 1 overdose, non-fatal, and 1 Narcan use. And since I'm talking about Narcan, we have members of Oracle, if they want to come up and talk about what we just implemented in our town and we want to go with it. Obviously, we got a epidemic with drugs, and Narcan is one of the tools that we use. We've put them in our cars, we put them in town hall, the schools have them all. We put 1 box down in the municipal lot. We want to do a little more, and they can expand on what they want to do.
Okay. You want to introduce them, Jeff?
This is Deputy Alberts from Ulster County Sheriff's.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm Damon Alberts. I'm a deputy with the Ulster County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, you probably got to talk into the
I'm the
mic.
law
Dan.
enforcement liaison to Oracle, which is our opioid response county law enforcement. This is Jessica Merck. She's our substance use disorder care coordinator and also our community events coordinator. In cooperation with the chief and yourself, sir, we did establish a outdoor Narcan box down at the parking lot off of Vineyard Avenue. It is actually one of 25 boxes that we've put out throughout the county. It's a program that we kind of piggybacked off of New Paltz Town. They started putting them up on the rail trails. Jess kind of came up with the idea that, hey, that's a great idea, but I want to go bigger with it. So it turned into a year-long project. Bruderhoff had built a bunch of boxes for us, and we now have them out throughout the county. We have 3 more to put in, 1 going in Thursday in Phoenicia, 1 more to go up in Saugerties, and then we have 1 more that we originally wanted to put here at the main entrance of the rail trail by the walkway. But speaking with Eric Hopp from the state, he said a little bit of, I don't want to say riff, but his boss really isn't kind of keen on having it over there because they are there, they're equipped there all day, they have Narcan there. So in speaking with him, and speaking with the chief, we thought maybe one of the things that Jess and I looked at was maybe putting it up at the depot at the entrance of the rail trail on the town property there. The rail trail is highly used. There's a lot of traffic there. Pretty decent sized parking lot for people to see it. I'll let Jess talk a little bit more about the reason behind why we want to put the boxes out or why we've been putting the boxes out, some of the stats and the numbers that we have. But again, we just want to put a second box out, get it established within the town. And again, I'll let Jess talk more about Narcan and why we have it and the numbers.
Okay. Thank you.
So this will also be, I think, the 6th one that will be on a rail trailhead. We have Rosendale, Walk Hill, Gardner. There's a couple other townships that have them on the trail because they are so heavily utilized. One of the reasons that we thought the trail is, 1, through data analysis. I looked at all of the overdose reports that we get throughout the county. I tried to identify hotspots. That's easier in the cities, right? Rather than the rural, hard time with that word. But rail trails are so heavily populated. So Narcan's not only for individuals who are using substances. Someone who's overdosing can't Narcan themselves, but we're looking at the families, we're looking at the mothers, the friends, the aunts and uncles, and not only that, but the senior citizen population that a lot of people don't think about. Narcan is an opioid reversal drug. It's not just for your junkie behind the dumpster. That stigma is going away. A large percentage of our overdoses happen with the over 65 population who are prescribed pain medication. So the idea of the program is to just get Narcan in as many people's hands as possible. I think to date, we've turned over about 1,000 in just the first 10 boxes that we put up. And 500 of that was at 3 of them. So they are being utilized. Narcan is safe for anybody who uses it. If someone's not in an overdose, it doesn't do anything to them. It can't hurt them. It doesn't increase blood pressure. It doesn't increase heart rate. You can give it to someone who's not overdosing. It's going to do nothing. It's safe for canines. It's safe for infants. It's safe for children. And anybody who uses it that's not under any type of business is covered by the Good Samaritan law. So there's no liability, accountability, can't be charged or held responsible in any way. So it's really safe on both aspects. Quick story. I know Lloyd PD is great. They always have it on them. We had a trooper who had to administer Narcan about an hour before this incident I'm going to tell you about in the city of Kingston. He was driving by. There was an overdose that had occurred. And like I said, he had just administered Narcan, so he didn't have any more in his car. The incident was happening in one of the parks and our box was right next to him. And he was able to utilize the Narcan that was in that box to reverse the overdose that was happening right there. So just increasing the availability it's saving lives. We had 2 community members come up to us and say, individual overdosed on the trail, on the rail trail. He said, I didn't have Narcan. Thank God your box was here. He actually came and sought me out at an event that we were at to tell me that, and thank me for putting the box up because he saved 2 people's lives with it. So it's working, it's useful, and we'd appreciate the opportunity to put another one up.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you both for what you do. Thank you very much for what you do. The box that is in the town parking lot, yesterday we were down there doing some work at the pavilion. And out of curiosity, we said, let's see what's in there. You can't open it. Yeah, the box would not open.
The barrel bolt?
Yeah, the barrel boat. We tried. One guy is a construction guy, and we're like, how do you get this open?
We'll take a look at it on our way out.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this is actually our 10th board meeting that we've come to. One of the examples I laid out to one of the libraries where we have a box, we actually have a box established at Platteville Library. They kind of pushed back on us a little bit. And I said, look at it this way. It's, you guys are here as board members, you're seeing people come in, maybe an elderly couple comes in with a child and you think, oh, well, that's awfully sweet. They're coming in with their grandchild for story time or whatever. But the backstory is that their own child is suffering from an addiction. Their own child is living with them. Their own child has actually overdosed 2, 3, 4 times in their own home. So this gives somebody access to be able to get that Narcan without having to go to, CVS or Walgreens to pay for a subscription for it or a prescription for it. As the chief said, obviously they have Narcan. One of the things that I do is I track all the overdose reports throughout the county, and I order anywhere from 1,200 to 2,400 kits at a time, and I order probably about 5 to 6 times a year.
Wow.
If the chief calls and says, hey, Damon, I need Narcan, I put it in a bag and I bring it right down to him, whatever he needs. If he needs 10 kits, if he needs 50 kits, 100 kits, chief gets whatever he needs. Any other departments in the county get what they need, fire departments, ambulance, police. So we're kind of the one-stop shop when it comes to that. We do Narcan training, CPR, AD training, all sorts of stuff. So again.
Also treatment coordination and resources.
Correct.
So inside of these kits is our pamphlet, our hotline number, instructions on how to use Narcan, fentanyl test strips, xylazine test strips, as well as a list of resources that someone who's struggling with substances can use. And our job is not only Narcan, but my primary job is coordinating any type of treatment for anybody who's struggling with any substances. So we take community referrals. It's not only overdose reports. So it is also on the back end trying to connect individuals to services. So does anybody have any questions? I know that was a lot of information.
Yeah, I have it. So you're saying that anybody could administer the Narcan? How do you determine if somebody's overdosing? I mean, I never seen anybody.
So there is, like I said, the instructions in there do go through very brief signs and symptoms. Some of the telltale signs of an overdose is going to be bluing of the lips, ashy color in the face, nail beds will start to turn blue. There may be some foaming at the mouth, very labored breathing, if there's any breathing. If you were to open the person's eyes, their pupils are going to be very, very pinpointed. Something's going to be very wrong, but the bluing is really a telltale sign. But like I said, if you don't know, you walk into a bathroom and you say, I don't know this person. This girl told me one time, this may look like an overdose, but I'm not sure. If you give them Narcan, it's not going to hurt them. But if you do if they are overdosing, what the Narcan does is it rips the opioid off of that receptor and replaces it so the drug can't get back to it, and it reverses the overdose. The object of Narcan is to restore breathing, not consciousness. So it gets oxygen back to the body.
And a lot of officers nowadays, I've done it a couple times myself. I've been in EMS for 30 years, so I'm fairly familiar with what an overdose is. And there's a couple where I looked at and I'm like, I'm not really sure. A lot of cops are just giving Narcan anyway, because one, it's free, two, there's no ill effects, there's no contraindications to it. And if it's an overdose and you're not sure, you're not gonna hurt them by giving the Narcan.
Yeah.
And if it's an overdose,
Might have just saved the
you
life.
may have just saved their life, so.
But the instructions are inside every single kit that
Mhm.
we prepackaged the kits. The boxes that they give out in the pharmacy do have instructions on the back, but we have a Z fold that goes a little bit more in depth and it's got pictures, it's got, it's kind of foolproof.
So ultimately, the kits, and I forgot it today, we messed with the end of box. We're actually gonna stock them in tomorrow. It's basically a Ziploc bag, it's got our sticker and hotline number on it. Two things of Narcan, fentanyl, xylazine test strip, our pamphlet, instructions for the Narcan, and then we started putting a pair of gloves in it, so that way, if you do need to use it, you have PPE,
And
keep yourself safe.
the boxes hold about 30 kits. So we give them to the Lloyd Police has been fantastic. Their officers will go by and check it. There's also a QR code that anybody in the community can scan if it's getting low. Delivers a pre-generated message directly to us that says the box is getting low. So hopefully it never is empty.
And again, any of the kits that need to be restocked, any of the sergeants or whoever, Lieutenant Olson can call and say, hey, we need more kits, not only for us, but we need them for the Narcan boxes in town. I bring them down, doesn't cost anybody anything. It's all free.
Any other questions? I know.
Well, hold on. Go ahead, Peter.
So I think Tony Williams might be a better spot for Narcan, the way you're spacing it out now that you have it at the village, and then the other one is on 299.
Tony Williams at the other end of the trail there.
That's the trailhead there,
Yep.
you have games, all kinds of activities there. You have a constant flow with the boost, but I think that's in there.
We can definitely look into that. I'm not familiar with Lloyd as much, so we can definitely, what is it called? Tony.
I know where it is.
You can work with the chief on the location. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Mark, you had a
I patrolled down here for almost my entire career, but yeah, I'll work with the chief hand in hand on that.
Okay.
Figure out exactly where to put it.
Okay, good. Mark, you had a question?
The data for 2024, you know how many of these you administered and perhaps how many people have died this year?
So ask me a question in a different way. I don't know if I understood it.
The kids that you have in Narcan, how many have you used in the county this year? And then maybe how many people have died this year?
So I would say if you want, we can give you our contact number, and then what we can do is we can get that added for you, so it's a little bit more concise based out of our data sheet or our database that just updates and then out of the OD report, and we can give you a little bit more of a more concise
Okay.
number instead of just throwing numbers at you.
Has your number?
Yeah, she's having, yeah,
Okay.
yep, or we can give you a business card. Yep.
Okay.
The Ulster County Comptroller did release some information for our stats last year of overdoses. I don't know if they break it down by town, but it is available to the public on any website. So
Thank you very much.
Okay, and board have any other questions? Tiffany, Lenny, John?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
All right, thank you. God bless you for what you do.
Chief, was that all you had? Questions for the chief?
How many people have you saved, Jimmy? I know you,
Our department, myself, I've done 5.
wow,
In our parking lot, on the way home from work, we keep it in our cars.
that's great.
It's reality. It's here. If you don't help and keep trying to do something, it's just gonna expand and you can't arrest your way out of this epidemic. It's gonna take everybody help, with this. So I think this project is great. Like I said, hopefully if it saves one person, it's well worth it.
Thank you.
I just hope everybody realizes how many times during their discussion they commended your department.
Appreciate it. And also these Narcan kits are for officer safety. We don't field test anymore narcotics because of the danger of it. Because officers have overdosed while they're doing field testing on them. So anything that we have to field test, we go to a lab for court purposes, but it doesn't preclude our officers still coming in contact with some kind of substance that might have fentanyl in it or an overdose. So it's also used for our guys in case they're in a walk through one of the events down there. So it's a good thing.
Walk through, you could even be going on a call and somebody could
Correct.
be using and you can get it exposed to it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay,
Thank you.
thanks, chief. Okay, we'll move forward to recreation, and then buildings and grounds. Frank Alfonso.
Hello. First off, Tony Williams, believe it or not, we're in November and we still have practices scheduled for this week. We will be keeping the tennis nets up as long as the weather lets us. I know sometimes we wait to Christmas time, believe it or not. So, when we know the storm is coming and it's going to be cold, we'll get them out of there, but we'll keep them up as long as possible. We'll be getting all the lawn equipment, our leaf blowers and weed whackers and things like that. We'll get that all serviced probably at the end of this month, early December. The parking lot has been blacktop. It's completed with that part. I know you have a resolution later to get it striped, and they're willing to come on this Friday to do that. And hopefully that can complete that project.
And the striping is the important part because we move old stripes over, put new ones in, and we end up with the 66 additional spaces that we wanted to get when we started. So,
Yeah.
and if you've been out there with the improvements made to drainage, and thanks to the highway department, Frank, and I know Frank's here tonight because Richie's out, but they've done a great job on that park. It looks better than it ever has. Behind the fields is no longer wetlands because they put the new drainage in, and where they cut out the hill and put the additional parking spots in, everything looks good out there right
Yep,
now. So
yep.
I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you to them. Also, I know I might have mentioned this last time, but they did have 2 cameras installed up at Tony Williams on the garage. We've talked about getting 1 or 2 more there, and then we've also talked about possibly Berry Ann Park, that we'd like to get some cameras up there by springtime. I think that'd be good to get that done. The town field, youth soccer and youth lacrosse, they both got in touch with me at the end of last week. They're still looking to use the field for practices for their 2 club teams up until the end of November, so that'll be fine. Pavilion update, I know that the floor was done, correct? And I know they're doing the block, so anything else from that?
I think the block starts tomorrow.
Blocks, they did the block layout this morning. They actually start laying the block tomorrow. The doors and door frames were delivered today for the restrooms and the double doors. The mason says it'll probably be weather depending, no more than 2 weeks and he'll be done.
Okay.
So
That's good. And
We're-
then
we're getting there.
Berry Ann Park, trees were planted up there along, is that Hilltop? Is that what it's called?
Fence line.
Between the two, right there, and with the house that's in the parking lot there, so that was taken care of. Well, they're up there, we'll leave the pickleball and tennis nets up as long as the weather lets us use them. Also, the leaf cleanup up there, we're waiting for everything to drop, and then we'll get rid of everything there. Other parks are in good condition. As far as programs that we got going on, starting up, some have already started, one of them has already started. The wrestling camp, which is done by John McFarland in the wrestling, varsity wrestling team, that'll start in December and go December and January. Adult basketball, which has already started, goes on Thursday night. And then we're revamping our youth basketball. We have 2 people here. Do you mind introducing yourself to the?
I'm Abby Stewart. Our kids in the district here. I just play basketball. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Esposito, and I have one of our little athletes here, Denise Esposito.
Great.
Right, so Abby's listed tonight as a director, and then the committee, Tiffany is on the committee, and then there's some volunteers. I thank you for everything. Supplies that we talked about, I already got them, so next week we'll get together early in the morning. I'll have everything there, and we'll figure out where we're gonna put everything on a weekly basis. I think that's it. Yeah, the 2 resolutions, which is on there. That's what I have.
Anybody have questions for Frank?
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move forward. Town clerk, Wendy, you had a couple items there?
Yeah, any unpaid water bills have been sent to the county and they'll be relevied onto people's 2025 property tax bills. Taxes, we had our training with the county on the new county-based tax program. It's a positive that the residents, title companies, realtors, et cetera, will be able to look up online the property tax information for the current year, similar to the school tax program, although they won't be able to look up previous years. We will be given to an online self-paced training program the next couple of weeks, and we will have a follow-up training in December. It's going to have quite the learning curve to it. Pay to park is going well. We're finally sort of settling in. Residents are registering with us for the free parking. We're looking in January, I think we've discussed, adding permits for out-of-town people who access the rail trail and the walkway regularly from Haviland Road, as well as out-of-town senior citizens with a discount. You'll see on the agenda tonight, the town is ordering a second kiosk to make it easier for people who do not use the app.
Any questions for Wendy? No? And thanks for everything on the pay to park program. I know it got off to some rocky starts and, but I think we've made a lot of progress on it. So thanks yourself and Peter and, everybody involved with that. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move forward to, water and sewer. Mr. Lippman.
Well, good evening. Adam Littman, Administrator for Town of Lloyd Water and Sewer. I guess I should also comment on re-levy. Thanks for the help with that, Wendy. Our department completed that last Friday. So it was something that Billy Joe had to do in combination with SCA software. So it takes quite a while for her to get that done, but it's done.
Is it similar to past years or was there any?
I haven't actually gone over those totals with her yet. I just got back in the office today.
Okay. I'd just be
So-
curious if it's similar, worse, better or worse. Thanks.
As everybody knows, it's been kind of dry, so river water's still making up, and at this point, 98% of daily productions. The water table is kind of lessened up by the well, so they're only providing about 2% the daily production, and we've actually decreased their runtime over a 24-hour period, so they're only on for about 6 hours. Our production time is averaging about 11 hours per day. We, as far as wells go too, I should also let you know that Bragg's Electric installed phase monitoring on the well pumps because we've lost so many in the last couple of years from power outages, lightning strikes. So that's something we've been working on for a while. So we got that done. Fingers crossed we won't lose any more well pumps.
Hey, Adam, just one question. So you're on 98% river water and I don't know this time of year, but how has the turbidity been compared to prior years?
The turbidity is not bad. When we're kind of in a drought situation, there's not a lot of rain around us.
Not a lot kicking up.
Oh, I'm not talking into it.
What's that?
You were saying something?
No, I said, so it's not kicking up as much.
Correct.
Okay.
You know, and when we get more rain upstate, you get more flow down here, which actually increases all the turbidity. So in a drought season, the river's usually a lot cleaner.
Okay.
Road crew, they did their fall flushing, hydrant flushing. I'm having a problem speaking tonight, sorry. Bridgeview Pump Station has had some issues. The crew has spent a lot of time working on the pump station. We've had hydro pneumatics on site doing some troubleshooting and repairs. They're going to be back again on Friday. We also had JTP on site to back out the bottom of the wet well, something we've been doing on a yearly basis. They kind of noticed that there was a lot of heavy debris at the bottom of that station this time. We don't know how it's gotten there. Seems to be a lot of rock and dirt. It seems to be out of the ordinary. Can't explain it unless there's a broken sewer main in that area that we haven't found.
How do we?
Okay.
Our mowing season has finally come to an end. All of our equipment's been serviced and put away. It's ready for next year. Road crew's been doing a lot of markouts. There's a lot of projects trying to get finished at this time of the year. Sewer department, daily operations continue as usual. They're preparing for the winter season. They've been pumping and cleaning out tanks, doing inspections. And as you may know, we put our new dump truck in service the week before.
How you like it?
It's a very nice truck.
That's
Works well. Are there any questions?
Anybody have questions for Adam?
I have one. The guy cleaned the screen on the intake.
Yes.
Were his comments, whatever, are we going to try to get on a yearly schedule or?
It would be in our best interest to try and stay on a yearly schedule. His comments were that the screen was clean. There was no real erosion or issues with that. The anodes seem to be in good shape, which is something that is sacrificial. There was no truck tires stuck against it. There was no trees to remove. So we're pretty fortunate this time, because in the past, you know, we'd have it cleaned once a year, and one year it would be really great. The next year they'd be doing tree removal and debris away from it. It took him a while to find it. He did kind of note the structure and kind of showed it to me a little bit in the sonar. It's kind of hard for me to tell. He pointed out some very large fish, probably sturgeon, but otherwise he said it looked good.
Right.
So
How deep is it again?
42
42.
feet, I think, is what he actually measured.
Okay.
So, that would have to be a decision that we make on a yearly basis. I believe it's something that we should have done.
Right.
You know, it,
Okay.
keeps the barnacles off of it, keeps zebra mussels and all that type of stuff off, so,
Then make a recommendation to us to do that yearly at some point.
yes. So,
I'll put it on your yearly maintenance schedule.
okay, so it's also incorporated into my budgets. You know, when I give you the spreadsheet, I kind of point out that I would like to allocate this amount of funds for that.
Okay.
So it is in the budgeting too.
Okay.
And this is the first time we've used this dive service, right?
Yes,
And you're happy with them?
I am.
Good.
And the last question, Adam, that I have, I know Champlain Hudson was in the area the last couple weeks.
Mhm.
And I know they've been doing a lot of testing when they lay their lines.
Yeah.
Have we noticed anything from it?
haven't.
We have not. Okay.
So we're not seeing any increases in turbidities there. We have been getting the notifications that they're within so many feet of our intake.
Right.
We do not notice anything. We are in more of a sheltered point than a lot of the deeper,
Right.
larger intakes. I want to say, I believe that we are far less affected. Plus we have a stream that discharges. It keeps a lot of that tidal waters moving away from us. So, but again, no, I haven't noted anything different in our productions or anything, so.
Okay.
And I think today they were within 200 feet of us or so, 300 feet.
Okay. Anything else for Adam?
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, we'll move forward on the agenda. Old business and not a lot discussed, but I have been through the budget. Again, I have been meeting with the department heads, the bookkeeper, the budget director, and you know, the intent is to find a way to get under the 2% cap. So I'm looking for, it's not just my budget, as somebody pointed out. It's all of our budgets, the town board budget. Yes, we prepared it and presented it. So I'm looking for input from town board members also on any way of getting under the 2% cap. So we'll continue moving forward. We have some ideas and, you know, my objective is to get under it. Okay, moving forward, a couple of weeks ago, I sent you all an email. It was brought up to me a couple times in the past 4 or 5 months. We have EV charging stations. We have 4 out at the rail trail by the caboose and 4 in the town lot. They were put in 2016, and they were put in with the premise that they were going to be put in for free and we couldn't charge for them, right? So the town accepted that, and I understand why they did it, because the thought was if you had that on the EV charging map, that would attract people into town. You know, a lot of stuff changes in 8 years. And with the price of electricity and the fact that the town sees a $600 to $800 bill in each of those parking lots, I'm not sure that's still the right thing to do.
And I think the companies paid for, that one company paid for the installations.
Which- Yeah. So I've been searching because, and I want to hear from the rest of the board. I personally think, you know, that you're gonna, you know, put fuel in your car, you're responsible for it, not the other taxpayers, right? And we've been paying for electricity for it. So I have been searching for a company who can actually set up, you know, and has the system where, you know, we can charge for it and just, you know, not going to try and make profit. We just want to make sure we offset our costs. and maintenance of it. So I found a company, I sent it to each of you, and I'd like to get back to them. I've only been able to find one company, by the way. But their deal is they will come in, they will replace all of our units for no charge. They will set up their own software and their own system. And I believe it was like $3 a hookup and 35 cents a kilowatt hour, which kind of offsets, we pay anywhere from 22 to 28 cents per kilowatt hour. So that would offset it and give us enough to pay maintenance. And then they keep 10%, and then they send us a check every month. So there's no admin work for us to do like there is on the parking. So my question to the rest of the board is, are you with me on this? Do you want to do this, or you think there's something else we should be doing?
I have a question.
Okay.
You said $600 to $800 per location?
Yes.
That's not per charging station.
That's total
That's
bill.
for 4 this here. And that's a monthly, or is that?
Monthly.
Monthly fee? So $600 to $800 a month.
Right.
Per
In each
unit.
lot.
Per
And when
unit?
you compare it with the other lots, it's way higher.
Location.
Right, per location.
Yeah.
So and it's not all 100% charger, because there's lights and other stuff on that meter. But when you compare it to the other lots, you'll see that they're $100 to $200 a month. So this is driving them. That's the only other driver has to be the charging stations. And this way we eliminate the unknowns from it.
Do we have any signed agreement going back in time with the
I have
auto
not found-
manufacturer who installed that?
I have not found any, John.
We haven't found anything? Okay.
I think it was, you put them in for a certain amount of time. It's been 8 years, so. And by the way, we're getting a lot of maintenance problems with them and don't even know who to call. So. I'm.
Reached their end of life.
Yeah, they've kind of reached their end of life, and there's newer technology, and this company will also look at other places in town, and do the same thing. They would install them and use grant money that they get to do it with so it would be no cost to the town. So I want, give me your input. I'd like to have a resolution at the next meeting, to go forward with the plan. Unless anybody has objections to it.
I'm good with it.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we
bring
should
that into the next meeting.
proceed.
Okay, we'll move forward to privilege of the floor. Anybody here okay, Mark?
I just wondered if the board could give an update on the fixing the site distance issue on Tilson. Has the board decided on a plan to move forward?
Yeah, we met with Barton LaJudas, we met with Rich, and there were 4 options, and Barton LaJudas and us have agreed on, we've kind of ranked the options, and they're supposed to come out with a final report for us this week so we can move forward.
Do you think it'll get done before the end of the year or next year?
Depends on the weather.
Right.
Depends on the weather.
And what's the number one choice so far?
Number one is for Smith Terrace, it's to reconfigure the walls.
Oh, maybe lower them or something?
Lower them or move them a little bit, yes.
I got you. Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to move forward then with motions and resolutions, and we do have a bunch of them tonight, so I'll try and net some of them. No, that makes me happy, but
Hi, Chief.
the first motion A, is to approve the minutes of the August 21st, 2024 and September 4th, 2024 town meetings. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. Resolution B, whereas Mr. Kenneth Southworth has successfully submitted an application and possesses the qualifications to fill the wastewater management position at the town Lloyd Wastewater and Sewer Departments. Now therefore, the town board appoints Ken Southworth at the position of, I'll use the abbreviations are on here. I'm not sure exactly what it stands for, but it's WWWMW. This position will be full-time, pay a 2024 base rate of $26.25 per hour at the recommendation of Water Department Adam Littman and effective November 16th, 2024. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution to appoint Abigail Seward as the youth basketball director for the town of Lloyd Recreation and Basketball at a stipend of $600 at the recommendation of Frank Alfonso.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. A resolution to appoint the committee, and you can read the names here with the volunteer coaches as volunteers for the town of Lloyd Recreation Youth Basketball. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay, Resolution E is to purchase one new Ford F-250 pickup truck.
No.
It's a total cost of $51,531.18 from Van Bortle Ford Fleet Department of Rochester, New York, through the New York State OGS mini bid procurement program. Financing will be provided from the water source serial bond in 2024 that was for $400,000 at the recommendation of Adam Littman, Water Sewer Administrator. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, you want roll call, Wendy?
Reno,
Yes.
Plavcheck,
Yes.
Akmoody,
Oh, this hurts. Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Rizzo. Yes.
Oh, it's a Ford, that's right. Lenny's a Ford guy. I'm sorry. Just had to think of what he was worried about. Okay, resolution to appoint Thomas J. McGovern to the position of wastewater treatment plant operator. Position's a full-time with a base rate of $27.57 per hour, which is budget supported at the recommendation of Adam Littman.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution to accept the resignation of John Tornell as part-time dispatcher effective 11/6/2024 at the recommendation of Chief James Shanso.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Resolution H. There's two quotes for the two plaques to be installed on Lewis the Stacy Pavilion were received. You can see the amounts, timely signs, 2946 and 2600 for corporate images, which corporate images cannot guarantee the installation in time. And the ceremony is December 3rd. Now therefore, the town will order from Timely Signs for $2,945, including installation prior to December 3rd. Can I get a motion?
I shouldn't make. that.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay, now we'll start the local laws, and the first part is the seeker, and the second part is the local law. So the first one is the local laws being proposed, is local law H of 2024. Sorry.
This is the new one. There's no
And,
secret on this one. This is the new
again,
one we're
it's-
presenting the law.
This is for, what's that?
This is the new one where we're just
Right.
presenting the law to set the public hearing.
Right, this is for setting the public hearing. So this is for, and I won't read it all, but it's local law for vehicles and traffic code 90, section 96.63, and it's paid parking and additional no parking zones. So when we first did the law, within the law, we highlighted all the spaces and all the lots that we're going to do paid parking on. Peter and some others have fixed the one lot so that half of it's handicap and the other half can now be paid parking. And instead of, we may have situations like this also come up in the future. So instead of changing the local law every time, we'll pull the locations out and make them a table, very similar to how we do the development fee schedules. That way we can change it via resolution in the future. So that's what this does, is it pulls it out into a table and for moving forward. So this is a seeker for it. So it's, town boards empowered to adopt local laws. This is a type 1 action under seeker. and the town board's the lead agency. So the town board declares its intent to act as lead agency and resolves that the public hearing will be held by town board on December 4th at 4 p.m. And the town clerk is directed to publish and post a notice of said public meeting in accordance with New York State General Municipal Law, the town Lloyd Planning Board and Ulster County Planning Board, and any other agencies. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, so public hearing will be December 4th, that's 4th.
December 4th.
Okay. It's resolution I. Okay, resolution J. The town of Lloyd has introduced a local law to amend the zoning code to revise Article 7, special use permits, to amend section 100-52.1, which is cannabis, marijuana, retail sales and lounges. And whereas the local law constitutes a type 1 action under seeker, and after reviewing part 1 and part 2 of seeker, it's been, in considering the environmental effects, the town board has determined that the adoption has no significant environmental impact. Now, therefore, it's resolved that by the town of Lloyd Board that to amend Chapter 100 entitled Zoning of the Code and set forth will have no significant adverse environmental impacts as part of the seeker. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now this is the actual law for it, and we had the public hearing last month. So resolution K is, whereas a meeting of town board was held on the 6th day of November, which is today, the following resolution was moved, whereas the local law to revise section 100-52-1 entitled zoning by amending section E, special permit approval to provide that
Last meeting.
marijuana establishments shall not be located within 500-foot radius under New York, from any location regulated under the applicable New York state law, instead of the current language, which provides may not be located within 500-foot radius of any building containing a place of worship. And whereas town board has determined it's a type 1 action under seeker, town board has considered the environmental effects and has found as lead agency there's no environmental effects and issued a declaration of non-significance. Public hearing was held on the 16th day of October and continued on the 6th of November, which time any interested persons were given a chance to speak. And it was circulated to the Ulster County Planning Board, and there was no recommendation, just some advisory opinions, which we were good with here. So now therefore it be resolved that local law D be enacted per Schedule A, being a local law to amend the zoning code of the town of Lloyd. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a question, Dave.
Yeah.
I indicated, when I drafted this, I said the public hearing was continued this evening, but I think we might have closed this.
We closed on 16th, yeah. Yeah, so we have to change that, yeah. Yeah, I think I said it, but yeah, the language was wrong, right? Okay. You want to do, Wendy says a lot, Jim, we probably should do a roll call on it.
Frano,
Yes.
Bobcheck,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Guerrero, Rizzo.
Yes.
Okay, resolution L. This is a law to amend the zoning code, accessory apartments, and again, we've been talking again on this with the tri-boards, and it's been going on for pretty much a year. We've got enough experience with it, and we kind of come to an agreement with the three boards, the planning board and the zoning board, on how to amend this to make it better. So again, it's a local law to amend the zoning code 100-42, accessory apartments, special use requirements. And per one of the comments from the county, we're going to remove the off-street parking requirement and leave that up to the planning board to determine, and to increase the maximum size of the accessory apartment to 900 square foot and remove the requirements of where it might be located. Whereas the said law constitutes type 1 action under seeker, and after reviewing part 1 and part 2 of the full environmental assessment, it's considered, it's determined that the adoption of local law will have no significant environmental impact. Therefore, it's resolved that the town board of the town of Lloyd, to amend the chapter 100 for zoning will have no significant environmental impact, and the board hereby issues a negative declaration pursuant to part 16 under seeker. Can I get a motion?
Second,
Any discussion?
Yes. Do we have to have in there one bedroom at 900 square feet?
It's in the law, yeah. It's in the
It's
law.
in the law?
This is just a seeker.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the law.
All right.
Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution M, this is the actual law which has the one bedroom.
Okay.
If you read the attachment, so whereas proposed local law E of year 2024 to amend the zoning code 100-42 special use permit requirements to remove the reference of off-street parking, increase the maximum size of an accessory apartment to 900 square foot, and remove requirements related to where accessory apartments may be located. And it does include the one bedroom if you go in and read it. So local law amends the zoning map, and town board has determined per a previous resolution that there's no environmental impact. We did have a public hearing on 16th of October, and it was closed that night since there was no comments. Everyone was given the opportunity to be heard. We also circulated it to the Ulster County Planning Board. There were 4 recommendations. One was the off-street parking, which we did accept and maintain. The others, one was they wanted us to have a regulated rate on it that matched affordable housing that we really don't agree with because, people don't do them, some people do them, for their relatives, et cetera, and we didn't see that being relevant to the way we manage the law. And Dave, you remember what the other? Oh, yeah, they didn't want, right, they didn't want STRs in them, which is already in our STR law, so we couldn't change that. And then the last recommendation was, trying to think, I thought there was 4. I could be wrong.
Was I supposed to?
Maybe it was 3.
Was I supposed to put that in there?
Regardless, the one primary one that we changed was the one related to parking.
Okay, so that's it. So then it was, the other one was the rental regulation and the STR. That's the other 2. Okay. So now therefore be it resolved that local law E of 2024 being enacted as a form attached to Schedule A, and that's where you'll see the whole law, and it's fully set here and being allowed to amend the zoning map of the town of Lloyd. Can I get a motion?
motion,
Second.
When do you want to do a roll call?
Reno,
yes.
Plavcheck, Akmuti.
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Rizzo.
Yes.
Okay.
It won't stop.
Okay, the resolution N, again, the first part of this is seeker. This is town of Lloyd has introduced a local law to amend the zoning map to rezone 10 parcels currently within the CB zone, central business to single-family residence R1 quarter, and 4 parcels from general business to R1 quarter. And this again is down on Vineyard Avenue, down near White Street and Grand, or down that way. Whereas local law constitutes a type 1 action under seeker, and after reviewing part 1 and part 2 of the FEA, it's considered that the adoption has no significant environmental impact. Now, therefore, it's resolved that the Town of Lloyd Board and the Town of Lloyd local law to amend Chapter 100 has no significant environmental impact, and hereby issues a negative declaration pursuant to Part 16 of seeker. Can I get a motion?
Motion,
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so seekers approved for that. And now the actual law is resolution O. The meeting of town board, town Lloyd held at on 6th day of November 2024, proposed local law F of year 2024, local law to amend the zoning map to rezone 10 parcels currently within the CB zone and GB zone to R1 quarter. Was introduced on 18th of September 2024. The local law amends the zoning map and is part of, on Schedule A. And the town board determined that it's a type 1 action under seeker, and part 1 and part 2 of the FEA have been prepared on behalf of the town board. Whereas the town board has considered the environmental impacts and found no environmental impacts. A public hearing was held on October 16th and was closed on that day, as there were no public comments. Again, with this was, so it's resolved that local law F be enacted in the form of Schedule A as it's fully set, being a law to amend the zoning map. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Wendy, roll call.
Moreno,
Yes.
Slavcheck,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Rizzo.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, P, resolution whereas Peta Park has 1 kiosk for paying. The town would like to add a second kiosk location. The town board approves the purchase of a second Peta Park kiosk for Haviland Road from current vendor ATI at a cost of $6,199, an annual fee of $744, service $750 is a one-time cost, and shipping handling for a total of $7,888. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? A roll call, Wendy?
Moreno,
Yes.
Slavcheck,
Yes.
Moody, Guerrero,
Yes.
Rizzo.
Yes.
Okay, resolution Q is to hire seal and stripe to lay out and restripe Tony Williams parking lot at a cost of $2,750. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, let's take a vote.
Moreno,
Yes.
Slavcheck.
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Rizzo.
Yes.
Yay, the project's done.
And I'll ask one last time, is there anybody here for the public hearing on the 2025 budget? If not, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing on the 2025 budget.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, and can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue?
Sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry.
just for the record, the last piece with the accessory apartments was they didn't want ADUs, accessory dwelling units, to be special use permits. They wanted them to be.
Oh, right. Right.
Terrible.
Right, that's right. So, yeah, let me just expand on that a little bit. When we put them in place, we had them do a special use permit, which forced a site plan review and forced public hearings on them so that their neighbors would have the opportunity to come and talk. And what they wanted us to do was get rid of that and just make it as of right. And we can't disagree with that also. Let's just update you. Yes. Okay, so can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Remember, your microphones are still on until I